Well, hello, I'm Kelly Aguirre. My son is Jonathan. He's a senior this year, and we've been with the school. He's my second child. I have an older daughter, so we've been here almost 20 years. When Jonathan came along, we noticed probably about the second grade that he was having issues. We'd sit and read Toad and Frog, and the very simplest words he would not remember after a very few minutes. So his teachers and I would work very hard, going over and over and over things with him. His friends would start laughing, and even though they know that it's not exactly the right thing to do, they noticed that Jonathan was having trouble. We noticed he was having trouble, and he just would kind of buckle down, and those things like reading out loud in class, that was never done. He would never try that. It was too scary for him because someone might laugh. Over the years, we've worked with Miss Toole and Dawn and several of the other people here, and ones outside of the class also, tutoring and just basically working as hard as he could to get all of those gaps to try and figure out what it was that was keeping him from being able to flow like the other kids in his class that were around him. So over the years, he did work, and it never quite got easy for him. There was a block, something that just wasn't clear for him. So we worked and worked and worked, and through high school, his grades did get better. He just worked that hard so that he would try to make up for what it was that wasn't just right. So when this study came along with Dr. Books, it was another one of those, we can't stop trying. We need to see what this is about. So, and it was about a week into sessions. We went for 3 weeks, and he came home and announced that he might like the next reading assignment on the summer studies. And I thought, wow, who is this kid? And when he got back for the first days, he actually read out loud for the first time in class in front of his classmates and said he had a wonderful time with it. Him being older now, I'm not as he doesn't inform me as much as I used to hear about all the little daily things. But what I see, he's much more relaxed. He stands quite a bit taller, and just there's a clarity that he now sees. That fog, that thing that he fought against every time he had to sit down and do a reading assignment, it was just gone. There was nothing there to stop him. The energy that he used to take to have to get going, he could now apply to the material that he was actually going to read. And I went in, and that was kind of my job. When he had a reading assignment that was difficult for him, or he knew that it was going to be something he needed help with, he'd ask me to read it to him. Once he could hear it, it was easy for him to remember and retain. I don't think there's any two dyslexics that are exactly the same. Each one is going to experience a little bit different thing. And we had him tested, and we did all of this wonderful stuff, and his math scores were through the roof, but he still had problems with the sequencing of things. So for him, sequencing was another issue. And at this point now, I'm not sure. We need to go back and look at we're still finding out what it is he can do that he didn't used to. And every day as we come home with something new that, hey, this is something I've noticed. Hey, this is great. I can't wait to do this other thing. So this is what's been really good for him. But at one point when he started the summer reading, it was a difficult passage. And so I went in and asked if he needed my help, because that's what I did. And he said, no, Mom, I think I've got it. Oh, hey, do you want me to read to you? Well, sure. And I sat down on the end of his bed, and he read to me for the first time ever. And that was something that's hard to express, how wonderful that can be, and how proud he was to be able to offer that to me. So Dr. Books has been able to come up with a breakthrough, I would call it, something that the children can have, and it seems to last. It's something that he takes forward. It's something that doesn't go backwards for him. And I asked him if he thought his dyslexia was completely gone. And he said, well, I don't know. I think a little bit of it may be left. I said, well, what do you mean by that? And he said, well, when I get really, really tired, the words just kind of jump around on the page. And I said, sweetheart, I think that's normal. You ask anybody, when they get tired, the words do that. So he's still trying to discover where the boundaries of his new normal are. And it's a wonderful thing for him, and I think he's very grateful for being able to go through. And I'm excited. I want to see the brain mapping studies, that the before and after. So there was a lot of good information that was taken during the study, some physical, hard, on the paper sorts of things to go along with what we as the parents experienced and what the children also experienced. So I highly recommend. This is something that can probably help each and every child, and I can't wait to start taking the class with Dr. Brooks. She's going to be teaching and her methods, and I want to be the first one to sign up. So if you have any questions later, I'll be happy to answer. Thank you.